Break it down. Give me 5 people you ready to fight right now.
Timothy Bradley, Paul, Floyd
Mayweather,
Devin Alexander, and whoever the fan wants.
Listen, I told you give them something visual, so you in the head and made your own YouTube-based TV show. It's an array of IPAs and fighters on the road. Got a question? Put them in your comment section right below. Barbershop talk while you're sitting in your living room. Pacquiao, Mayweather, and we can't forget the bruise. Coming to you live with the scoops like a ladle. Allow me to introduce the boxing round table.
You know what I'm saying? So basically what I'm going to start by doing is asking all you guys, what do you feel fighters should do? Like, how should a fighter fight? How should they go about selecting opponents? How should they go about how often they should fight? Should a promoter be involved? How should they go about attaining fights in a good fight schedule? Deal?
Okay. Since boxing has become sports entertainment like wrestling and shit, with all the politics and bullshit, I like what you said. Build that shit up to a main event and not about one fight, one boxer. But nothing but the best get to be on that main slot. So, you know, the HBOs, the Showtimes, the ESPNs, all these fighters, you know, they beat one another up and shit. But then it's that one feud that, motherfucker, I want to fight you. Yeah, I want to fuck your ass up and all that stuff. Put that shit on the pay-per-view. But have these pay-per-views 4 times a year, instead of just, you know, spreading out 20 to 30 a year and stuff, because that's easily forgettable. But if you do it in that 4-time period, like you said, it's easier to follow boxing. It's easier to follow who the big time guys, and it kind of makes people want to watch the preliminary shows of HBO After Dark or Showtime, Next Generation, or whatever happens on Friday Night Fights, because it's a pattern, it's a structure there instead of just disarray and this and popularity, that, and whatever. And that's how I feel. So I think that's a good way of starting to make boxing become more of a factor. Boxonologists, go ahead. Okay, boxing talk.
I like what Zone said about the event, build it up as an event rather than count on the fighter, because if anything, a fighter will let you down. The event will, you know what I'm saying, it will last, because you can always put, you know, fighters in certain slots. And now that we got this this evolution of the old sales, we don't have to worry about the old. You don't have to worry about taking a loss. You don't have to worry about people ducking certain people because they're afraid that they're gonna lose before they get to another person. So I like that format. But I want to add something else. I want to add use ESPN and Fox 1 Sports as like the not like the minor leagues, but use it as the young prospects coming up. Have those guys on those channels, Fox Sports 1 and ESPN, and on HBO Showtime have the contenders on there, the ones that are eligible and getting ready to fight big events.
Oh,
hold on, like that. I mean, that's what I want to add.
Hold on, y'all. Boxologist just got clicked off. Boxologist.
Yeah, man, I dropped that shit on mute, nigga. I tried to fucking take out me and hung it up.
Yeah, hang on.
Come back.
All right, here we go. Let's go.
Hello? Hey, hello?
Hey, Pastor Rock to Boxonologist then.
That nigga wasn't known.
All right. All right. Yeah, I was off.
Hey, but I think, you know, the thing about, you know what I'm saying, the way people should go about these fights, man, is simple, man. They need to bring the real entertainment aspect into it. You know what I'm saying? And I think at this point they can kind of take a page from, like, wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Like, go, you know, they should take a page from wrestling and kind of do it kind of how they did in the old school way. You know what I'm saying? Come up to the gym, come up to your guy's gym with your entourage. You know what I'm saying? Trying to build the fight up. Go to his previous fight. Hop in the ring. You know what I'm saying? And call him out. You know what I mean? Like, people don't do that no more. You know what I mean? Like, when Mosley did it, they kind of deemed it as being disrespectful and all that, man. But I mean, that does numbers. You know what I'm saying? That brings entertainment value, you know what I'm saying, to the sport. You know what I mean? You ain't got to be all goofy and shit like Adrian Barnaby acting, you know what I'm saying, just to try to sell yourself. But you can sell the fight if you go to the fighter, go to the press conferences, chase, you know what I'm saying, do some stuff, get some shock value on footage that you know what I'm saying, that you actually, you know what I'm saying, trying to do some, like trying to get a fight with the dude. I mean, because, you know, just like I seen, like, for instance, I seen David Haye go up to Klitschko when they was at the mall, you know what I mean? But it's like, you know, I ain't trying to do nothing, like, physical to you because there's so many cameras and shit around. But, like, that kind of shock value builds the fight. You know what I mean? That entertainment aspect builds the fight. You know what I mean? People act like they scared to call fighters out because they want to let their promoters handle it. But little do they know, if they had, you know, the right kind of person in their ear, that brings value. You know what I'm saying? When you one of the best fighters and you calling out one of the best fighters and, like, you know, saying some little shit about him or something like that, you know what I mean? And then he'll go to his next fight and say some shit about you or call a nigga on the line when he just got out of the fight, just like, you know, with Hopkins and Roy Jones and shit, you know what I mean? When he was like, you know, 60-40, you get your ass whooped, you know what I mean? Like, that kind of shit sells, dude. That shit is entertaining, you know what I'm saying, to the people that's buying this shit, man. Like having some kind of entertainment value to it, man, to where you making it known, I want to fight this guy. So when we come up to these conversations and we like, oh, man, well, this guy ducked this guy, we really got a valid reason of why he ducked him. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just no business and politics type shit. It was like, dog, this nigga really ducked him. You know what I'm saying? Go, I mean, shit, be one of the people in, you know what I'm saying? Like just like the guy, he had dressed up like a washwoman, you know what I'm saying? Ali said he was a washerwoman, you know what I mean? And he dressed up like a washerwoman and with a contract and tried to get him to fight him, you know what I mean? The Hispanic guy. So, I mean, I think shit like that, man, like, that not only helps the sport, but it brings entertainment value to the sport, and I think that draws more people to try to figure out what's going on, because it draws people to WWE, and that fighting is fake. So it'll really draw people to, you know, boxing, and this is real. You feel me? That's all I gotta say. Yeah. Who's next, man? Boxing Talk?
Just
hello? Ronald. Go ahead, Ronald. Hello? Okay, hello.
You made a damn good point. The thing of it is I think that you can have a more level playing field. You know how right now we are kind of in this debate with Keith Thurman with a bunch of people, and if it was simply an event that you wanted to get to as opposed to a boxer, you can call out a boxer just to get on the event. So let me give you an example of, you can take, like, let's say for instance Andre Berto. Andre Berto can be like, you bitch ass nigga Ortiz, I want to get my revenge on you, you hoe ass nigga. That shit was luck. So let's get that shit on. And that can be like the opening fight on the motherfucker,
exactly,
the pay-per-view. Even though it ain't even a fight that niggas really want to see, for real, but it's a fight that you want to see if it's like the opening fight on a pay-per-view. So the main thing I think with that is the pay scale. Like, if you the main event on this card, then your shit is gonna be X amount of dollars. And if you the first fight on the card, your shit is gonna be X amount of dollars, no matter who, you know what I'm saying? So if you able to make that card, so the thing is, you gonna do whatever you gotta do to land on that card. And if you land on that card, it depends on where you land on that card. First fight, second fight, third fight, main event. You know what I'm saying? So I think that each fighter would be doing shit to land on that shit, because they know, if I can land on the top card, no matter what your record is, you ain't got to be undefeated. You ain't got to be coming off no win streak, none of that shit. But if you can land, like the people who govern this shit, to deem your shit the main event, and you land on the main event, you good to go. You know what I'm saying? So it'll kind of make everything even. I think that if everything can be even, fighters would be more apt to do shit like we're talking about. I'm gonna pass rock to J Dill.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, with these pay-per-views, they need to, since we're paying for the shit for the view, since we're the views, make this shit, like Zone said, an extravagant event. But, you know, like how they do with the All-Star Game, the Super Bowl, you know, have a fucking performance with the artists or whatever. I know they kind of do that in the ring, but I'm talking about, like, make it extravagant, flashy. Make people want to, you know, the casual fans see something extravagant, like a Beyonce perform or whoever. And then after all that, you know, introduce the new Boxing Hall of Fame in that ring so people know the class of this year's Hall of Fame. Make that shit really matter. This is the mecca of boxing when you get on this event. And then after all that, you know, set up the next main event. And then, you know, if boxing will really matter and people will be like, you know what? I want to check this out and check that out because it's easy to follow. There's some entertainment value there. There's some legacy value there. And then, you know, these young bucks are more inspired to want to do bigger level shit. So that's why I think I'm going to give the rock to Zone 6. Go ahead.
All right, cool. Now, as far as the finance, a lot of people probably curious about this. Like, man, what do you mean? How is this going to work? If we're going to do 3 or 4 events, we're going to do one every 3 months, or we'll do one every 4 months. Let's say we do one every 4 months. That'll leave us with 3 big events. You know what I'm saying? We try to scale it out, throughout the months of the year. We might have to do one every 3 or every 4. What you want to do is, in between, say if it's January, February, and March, you got 3 months to pretty much build that card. All the fighters that have done good, or the most entertaining fighter, or the most, the biggest event that took place in those 3 months, they should punch their name on the card. So, for instance, Keith Thurman beat Solo Carras. Luis Collazo beat Victor Ortiz. That was something that happened before the big event. So what should happen now, since Soto Carras fought in January, you know, Keith Thurman should be one of the people that stamped on the card with him and Collazo in, let's say, hypothetically, April. Okay? Mayweather versus whoever should be stamped on the card in that time. Now, with the money, I don't believe that it should be a certain amount of purse for each individual. I don't think it should be different. I think if it's $100 million available and it's 4 people on that card, I think it should be split 25, 25, 25. Okay? And you just pick which slot you think you'll feel comfortable with going first, because then you don't want to make anybody feel more valuable than the other one, because you taking the elite of the elite, the top-notch guys, and put them on this event. So really, in theory, it is back April. Mayweather.
Hold on. I don't mean to cut you off, dog, but it sounds like somebody just cut out.
Hello?
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
Boxologist just cut out. He'll probably call back. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. So, Mayweather's fighting May. Pull that motherfucking event back. Okay? And Mayweather should be fighting Sean Porter. You see what I'm saying? Theoretically speaking. Okay? Because you know that's a big deal. That's what's supposed to happen. Bradley and Pacquiao Part 2 should be on there. Okay? The Canelo versus Angulo would be on the April card, because that's the next biggest match. Okay? And then we could probably pick out of the rest of these. Maybe Deontay Wilder and Malik Scott would be on there. So those would be the 4 cards for this quarter. You know what I'm saying? Out of the cards that they fought throughout the month. Okay? And then the winner of that, depending on how good they perform on that card, they roll to the next card.
Hang on.
With the people.
Here you go. Hold on. Yo.
What happened?
I don't know, man. You keep cutting out.
Man, I heard me and she just went blank. They didn't apologize, just hung up.
For real? I don't know. Here we go. Back in business.
Okay, back in business. So what I'm saying is, if you got the card. Hold on for a second. Yeah, I just put Hype Low. He back on the line, y'all.
What up, man?
Okay.
What's going on?
We just discussing how boxing can be better. So, you know what I'm saying, just we'll pass the rock to you and stuff like that so you can get the time to speak. So what I was saying is, once you accumulate all those matches out of that first quarter, they should all pick which one and who is nominated for the pay-per-view ticket. And the results should come out faster than they should. So, like, for instance, if we thought Collazo performance was so great against Victor Ortiz, and we thought Soto Karass and Keith Thurman performance was so great, then they will already say, hey, you may be slot one of the April card. Mayweather versus Sean Porter should be on the April card. You know what I'm saying? Now, you could get turned down off the card because if Floyd Mayweather say, hey, fuck that. Y'all don't control me. I independently do what I do. Then what should happen is he should be blackballed and independently responsible for promoting himself. He should take himself and do how he do whatever what networks would allow him. You know what I'm saying? Instead of riding off the back of HBO and the networks and off the back of the fans. Because all these fights don't deserve to be on pay-per-view. It should be only 3 pay-per-views and nobody should be getting no fucking... If they want to work out a percentage of it, you get 2% for each one of the fighters, that's okay. But pay-per-view shouldn't be restricted to certain fighters unless you perform. You know what I'm saying? It's like an evaluation system. Those guys in that quarter perform, they say, okay, we got 2 from this quarter so far. We want to put them on and pair them up with them. And they should send a contract and do it that way. What do you think about that, Rollo?
Yeah, that's a good-ass system. Because when you build up an event, you know, because all sports have an event that they have regardless of who's in it. The Masters is a big event regardless of who the fuck is in the tournament. The Super Bowl, huge event regardless of the Super Bowl is already sold for the next 3 years. Already sold. We don't even know who the fuck gonna be good next year, let alone the next 2 years. World Series, NBA Finals, the Winter Olympics and shit. They're events in themselves, not the actual athletes. And I think that's where boxing goes wrong, because they try and sell the actual athlete as opposed to the event of boxing. And like you said, it's much easier to follow long as you know it's going to be a championship fight on this particular time and day. And you can figure out who the fuck is fighting in between then. And you ain't got to be worried about a nigga, somebody picking their opponent, who they gonna choose to fight, what belt it's gonna be for, and all that other shit. Because if you build these events, all them belts and shit ain't gonna even matter, because the glory is gonna already be there. Since you just got on, pass that to you, Hypnotype.
No, Hypno. Yo.
Boxology.
Go ahead.
I missed out on where it all started. That sounded like a good idea when you were talking about zones. I think it'd be cool right now, since these companies want to act like, you know, only fighting within their own networks, like Golden Boys with Showtime, Top Rank, HBO, that pay-per-views would be reserved for the crossover fights. Like, for instance, Mayweather's fighting on Showtime, Pacquiao on HBO. But if they fight each other, that can be a pay-per-view. Or Garcia is fighting on Showtime and Provodnikov's fighting on HBO. But if they cross over, that could be a pay-per-view. So that was just a thought I had. Anyway.
Damn, that's a...
Yeah. Go ahead. Who next, Hypno? You got to pass the rock.
Did Bloodfist go yet?
No, go Bloodfist.
Yeah, so, I mean, you could treat this shit like WWE, TNA, where Top Rank could be TNA and Golden Boy could be WWE, but the whole point is, and everybody gets to see the best talent at the biggest stages for 4 quarters. And that's the point, and that's the best way to promote boxing. And And it's easy to follow because it's not too many damn pay-per-views. It's not too much at your face where it's hard to follow. I mean, it's hard enough to follow with different people with different belts in the same divisions and stuff. So you get to, and then it's just the different fan bases for each fighter, all in the same crowd. So you're going to get different mix. There's never going to be a boring ass atmosphere for each event when each fight is going on, because each fighter is going to have their fans cheering for them. It's never going to feel like one of the preliminaries where it's hardly anybody there. You just hear a quiet atmosphere. And part of making a great boxing match is the crowd interacting with the match. If the crowd's not into it, it just don't feel that epic or anything. So, having the crowd into it, having people want to view it, making it feel like it's a holiday more so than just a regular day and just ordering something like you do with a movie or something, that's a beautiful thing. And that's what's going to get the spirit of boxing back into this country instead of being a second-tier sport. And that's where the commercial success can progress. And I want to give it to Rilo.
All right. And I'm glad you said that, bro. Because one of the things that I think would also make it huge is not all the big fights being in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? They can automatically, kind of like they do the Super Bowl or the All-Star game, because all of those are big events. So when they pick this state or city for this event, the people in this city get prepared for this event. They promote the shit out of this event. You know what I'm saying? So the All-Star game last year was in Vegas. I mean, not Vegas, Louisiana or something. The people in Louisiana, since the moment that they knew that they were getting the All-Star game, all those people started getting prepared for that shit. My city, Detroit, we hosted a Super Bowl. The moment the NFL said the Super Bowl is going to be in Detroit, you talking about party promoters, bus companies, limousine companies, motherfucking printing companies. Everybody got ready and promoted the shit out of the Super Bowl in Detroit. So if you have an event like that where they can pick that shit ahead of time, the people in those cities get prepared to promote the event and get involved in it. So I'm gonna give you a prime example. I knew a dude who owned a printing company, and for the Super Bowl, he said he made a lot of money for it. You know what I'm saying? Just because a lot of the people who promoted shit during the Super Bowl came to him to promote shit. So he promoted the Super Bowl as much as anybody else because he wanted people to come and do business with him to promote their shit for the Super Bowl. So it's a residual. It's like a whole ball of like a machine that works when you have an event like that. And if you designate different cities for it, you know what I'm saying? And everything does it. The national championship game has it. The Super Bowl has it. The MLB All-Star game has it. The NBA All-Star game has it. You can get different cities involved in your sport and not just Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying? And I think that would be very vital for boxing being revitalized in the motherfucking country. I'm gonna pass it to boxologists.
Man, I think boxing has so many different, like a broad, you know what I'm saying, different avenues to figure out how to get more noticeability, get more marketability, you know what I'm saying, get more notice to the sport. You know, like even with these fighters, like, can you just imagine, like, how big would the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight have been if Pacquiao was talking trash back to Floyd in a build to their fight? You know what I'm saying? Like, it would have been even, you know what I'm saying, more lusty. I mean, it was like you had Lomos and Pack Cards. You know what I mean? Like, they fans each had nicknames for the other fans. It was like that big. You know what I mean? Even though it didn't happen, but it would have been even bigger and even more desirable if Pacquiao talked trash back. You know what I'm saying? Like, Dana White says it all the time, like with fighters, and sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not. He's like, man, these guys, they really don't like each other. They really don't like each other. But it's like, you know what I'm saying, that could be a business point, you know what I'm saying, to do that. I think we need to bring back boxing reality shows to, you know what I'm saying, build these fighters up also, man. I think that Contender thing they came out with the first time around with Rocky and Sugar Ray Leonard, I think that was brilliant. You know what I mean? That's the first time I found out who E.J. Smith was. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it was Peter Manfredo. You know what I'm saying? It was a few guys on that show that, you know what I'm saying, they ended up being champions, interim champions and stuff like that. And it's like, that's a lot of marketability. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's not like they stealing it from, you know, UFC because they got the Ultimate Fighter, because the Contender, that came out way before the Ultimate Fighter. You know what I mean? But that made the public fan-friendly with boxers. You know what I'm saying? And we got to see fights. And, you know what I'm saying, we got to know who some boxers was. We got some backstories, get some history about these boxers. It's like, I think it's better when they do it that way opposed to just dig somebody up and don't nobody know who the hell he is. You know what I'm saying? They like, oh man, that's the dude on the show, man. He got a good record. He does this, he do that. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's better when fans have more information on who they watching than just watching. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. I think that's very important. I mean, because shit, you can go overseas. China has a lot of great small fighters, but if I just go overseas and just watch two guys fight, it wouldn't mean nothing. It would be two guys fighting. But if I saw some kind of backstory or some kind of build-up, you know what I'm saying, some kind of controversy, you know what I'm saying, between these two guys or something like that, it would make the fight itself that more interesting to me, being that I have, you know what I'm saying, common information on these fighters. You know what I mean? So I think, you know, boxing as a whole should put more money into the basic, you know what I'm saying, like TV perception of fighters to get their names known more. You know what I'm saying? Because once they do that, then people, you know what I mean, it's like they don't have to go dig up on the internet and look up all this stuff about fighters. It's like they'll see it on TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know more about boxers on the internet than I do from watching them on TV. I know more about UFC fighters from watching them on TV than I do the internet. You know what I mean? So I think they should invest a lot more into entertainment and a more documented, you know what I'm saying, a documentating type aspect of boxers, you know what I'm saying, for the boxing public, just so they can have a little bit more information and know a little bit more about who they watching in the ring. Boxing talk, go ahead, bro.
And I think boxing needs a boxing channel, a 24-hour boxing channel. I think it needs a network like ESPN. You know what I'm saying? Like show boxing replays from the weeks of you know what I'm saying? Like, say for instance, the boxing came on when you couldn't see it. Well, it's going to show replays of fights. You know what I'm saying? It's going to show you, you know what I'm saying, legendary fights. It's going to show you classic fights and all that. And I think it should have like maybe a couple days a week, have analysts on there, boxing analysts, important to say that. People that are into grain in boxing. Don't have people on there that don't like Skip and what's name. No, they not like Austin Court with the NBA TV. You need boxing people talking about boxing. You know what I'm saying? Giving you the right information and have, you know what I'm saying, like have some interaction on there. Like, oh, I know we get like the YouTube community, have one of the analysts representing the YouTube community and stuff like that, you know, so everybody can feel like they're involved in it and just have, you know what I'm saying, a dialogue, have some debates, you know what I'm saying, have debates with guys on Twitter, you know, answering questions with people on Twitter, you know, just bring the sport into the 21st century, you know what I'm saying? I think I like the Rallo.
Yeah, dog. You damn, dog. God damn it. I just was thinking of some shit and I just forgot it that quick. But that's a good point. There's a dude on YouTube. Y'all might need to check him. His name is Talking Boxing with Billy C. There's actually There's actually a boxing network.
I listen to him too.
Yeah. It's actually a boxing network called, I think it's called Fight News or Fight. I can't remember, but if you just go look up Talking Boxing with Billy C, there's an actual 24/7 boxing channel, and he promotes that we need to call our service provider and request.
It's called Fight. It's called Fight Now.
Fight Now, exactly. Yes, Fight Now. We need to call this station. And like I said, I'm referencing my source. It's Talking Boxing with Billy C. That there was a Boxing Now or whatever Hype Low Top just said. I'm not sure, but there is a channel, and I think if we had that channel, I think that we would all watch that channel. That shit would be amazing. And also, you know what? I've never seen, like, for instance, like I'm sitting and watching TV with my girl, and we watching, a haunting and a haunting. It's a show that comes on. I don't even know what channel it comes on. But while we're watching this show, we might see a preview for Housewives of Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? She like, oh, blah, da, da, da. But I've never seen a preview for a fight outside of like a Mayweather Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen ESPN put on a commercial like, oh, we got the finals for this middleweight tournament for so-and-so and so-and-so. You know what I'm saying? They don't never even promote boxing in the same fashion. Boxing only gets promoted for particular fighters. They don't never promote the actual sport. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might be watching TV and you might see, oh, Thursday night, the NBA on TNT. Friday night, the NBA on ESPN. But you don't never see a Friday Night Fights commercial on another channel promoting Friday Night Fights. You know what I'm saying? So, I think the people who make all the money in boxing need to put money back into boxing to promote the sport, because it'll benefit them in the long run. You know what I'm saying? Zone, you got it.
All right. Well, this is the format that I see when I look at it. I look at it as we should have 4 pay-per-view events a year, because you want more than less. I believe it should be in March. I think it should be in June, September, and December. When it comes to September and the December pay-per-views, I think it needs to be first week of the month, obviously due to the Christmas holidays and then the new coming. That's why you would have September and December, and that kind of helps out with September for the Mexican Independence Day. But remember, we're not trying to get it around holidays. We're trying to make this event a holiday, like J. Deal said. So it just happened that September is still in September. And March and June, I think it needs to be more so toward the end, maybe like the 3rd week in June and the 3rd week of March. Anybody from January or February that put on a hell of a performance should already be stamped in March. You're looking for 4 of them. Anybody that put on a performance in April should be stamped in June. You see what I'm saying? This stuff should already be filled up. And between those other months without the pay-per-view, then those guys should be fighting on the cards. Also, a week before, I think they should shut down boxing, meaning they should shut down matches that they have to focus and allow the boxers themselves to come to these events if they want to. So, in March, we're going to do this first quarter, for an example. In March, just imagine whatever explosive card you want. Everybody across the board, just list. Just imagine whatever could be your dream card, whoever, whatever. Those people are already getting paid 25%. Because, see, if you raise $100 million, see, the reason I don't want anybody guaranteed more percentage than the other one, because I want to make sure all 8 boxers are putting a game effort into promoting this fight. Because if it's $100 million that can be raised, or $200 million that can be raised, guess what? Now we get to split up to either $25 million apiece, or we get to split $50 million apiece for a fight. And if you and another guy are in a $50 million purse, y'all get to slice $25 million down the middle.
Everybody eat.
Everybody eat. And if somebody's promoted, or if somebody get 33% or 90% and everybody else don't get it, those guys are not going to be feeling as important or as special, because they're going to feel like the person who's getting the more percentage is being, you know, coddled. That way we keep it fair as possible, okay? Now, also, with those belts and stuff like that, it'll also help consolidate those championship belts into these pay-per-views as well, too, okay? So you always want that. And if you think about this, you know what I'm saying? I'll pass the rock here in a second. It's pretty much 7 continents, okay? You might want to take Antarctica off the map, right? Because you know you ain't finna have no event down now. If you think of this, look at this rotation I got for y'all. 4 pay-per-views. That's why I want the guys to be off for a whole week, so all the boxers, everybody around the world can be focused on this event. You could have one in the United States, and wherever the United States choose to host it, that's on them. It could be in New York, it could be in Vegas, it could be in Cali, okay? The next one should be in South America. That could be Rio de Janeiro, Peru, Chile. You know what I'm saying? And that gives you maneuver room. That gives you a chance to put Sergio Martinez on a pay-per-view in South America. You see what I'm saying? The next one should be in England. You know what I'm saying? They should have that junk over there. Wherever England wants to have it at, whether it's Wales, whether it's whatever they want to have it. The next one should be somewhere in Africa, somewhere in Asia, like Dubai. And then the next one should be in Australia. You know what I'm saying? It should go on and on and on, and then you should have one in Asia. So that way you got somebody like Pacquiao, we can have it in Macau, China. We can have it in the Philippines. You know what I'm saying? That way it's never, it's a constant rotation for the pay-per-views. In the week prior, it's pay-per-view week. So nobody shouldn't be boxing, because you don't want anybody to get lost in the festivities. You don't want nobody not being able to participate in the event. All right? I'm passing it to Hyper.
Yo, so, yeah, that all sounds like good ideas. I think one simple thing you could do to make a lot more big fights happen is to have a standardized set of rules when it comes to things that are like negotiation difficulties, like, for instance, ring size and stuff like that. It should all be standardized. Like, you know, the ring's going to be 22 feet, so you can't make an excuse in negotiations like, you know, I want a smaller ring, I want a bigger ring. No. Like, that shit is going to be 22 feet. Just deal with it. Either take the fight or don't take the fight. And then also glove sizes. Like, you know, if you're in a certain weight class, you know, the gloves are going to be a certain